Hey, I'm Eric with Chase and Son, and welcome back to my Vietnam travel series. I'm gonna do a special moto vlog. Usually I do in North America, but I'm gonna do one in central Vietnam because I recently finished a weekend trip in central region of Vietnam visiting Danang, Hoi An, and Hue. And I'm telling you, if you were to rent a scooter anywhere in Vietnam, the central region is the best place to do that because the cities are close enough together but far enough apart to justify having a motorcycle or a scooter. So let's dive right into it. Okay, if you're thinking of doing a motorcycle road trip in Vietnam, then there's no better area than the central region of Vietnam, which is Danang, Hue, and Hoi An. The neat thing about this area is that there's three cities very closely clustered together, and it makes for a simple day trip hopping from one city to the other. And also there's so much culture here. The road is also very beautiful. The Hoi An Pass is here, which is a beautiful mountain pass featured in Top Gear. So you gotta check this out if you're itching to visit Vietnam on a motorcycle. In this video, I'm gonna dive right in to give you the tips, the routes, and also the review of what the road's like in this area. All right, so in terms of itinerary, you can stretch this out to, I would say, 3 days as a minimum. 7 days would be nice. Depends on what type of traveling you want to do. If you like the tours and to take in every single site, then you really should leave yourself at least 5 to 7 days because there's so many sites here. This area is an old area of Vietnam. Da Nang's quite developed compared to the other two, but Hue is an old imperial city dating back to the Nguyen dynasties of Vietnam, and Hoi An is also an old city with lots of beautiful old sites to see. So there's lots to see if you're into that type of traveling. Now, if you're simply here just for a road trip, then maybe you can squeeze in 3 days. I would then split that into Danang 1 day to explore, then drive to Hoi An and explore Hoi An on the other day, and then drive to Hue, and that would be another day. So that's 3 days, but that would be at the very minimum, and it's really packing it in. So ideally, I'd say 5 days, 7 days if you have the luxury of time. But the beauty about this region is you can station yourself in Danang. Danang's the biggest city, and it has the most flights and everything, so it makes sense to fly into Danang. And you have a choice here. You can either have a hotel in Danang for 3 days and just do day trips coming back always to Danang, so you don't have to move your luggage around. Or you can bring your luggage with you on the motorbike, depending on what you rent. That's a little bit more difficult because now you have luggage and everything to pack and you don't get to enjoy it. So my recommendation is to station yourself in Danang, book a hotel here, and maybe if you want to do an overnighter in like Hue, whether it's further away, then you do a backpack. So it makes the things more simple and you don't have to bring your hard luggage around. All right, here's a routing that we took so that you can have an idea of what we did. Like I said, there's many ways of planning this, depends what sites you want to see. But as an overall, what you want to do is go from Danang either up to Hue or down to Hoi An and then loop back. So this is from Danang over to Hue. It's about 2.5 hours if you go through the Hoi An Pass, and that's something I definitely recommend. Look at this squiggly line here. You can see how fun this would be. Gorgeous scenery and a lot of twisties, so I would definitely do that. If you don't put in the Hoi An Pass on Google Map, they'll route you through this route, which is a new highway with the tunnel that they did. It saves you about 30 minutes, but then it's not as fun. So I would recommend to do Hoi An Pass at least once. If you want, you can do that in the daytime, check out the scenery, and then on your way back, if you're doing a day trip, you can take the fast route. Alright, so then from Danang south to Hoi An, it's even closer. It's only about 45-50 minutes, depending which route you take. And then you get to Hoi An. Hoi An's a very interesting city. The old town, one thing to remember for motorcyclists, you cannot ride in there. It's pedestrian only. We made the mistake of bringing our scooter in and we were chased down and was told that we can't bring it in, so we learned the hard way. But yeah, when you get to Old Town, which is a definitely must visit, then leave your scooter outside and then walk in. Or if you really want to string it only one way, you can get into either Hoi An on the south or Hue on the north and ride one way. There are motorcycle companies that will rent one way and then you can drop off the other. But like I said, you need to worry about your luggage. What you can do is add this to an extended trip. Going from the central region to Ho Chi Minh is very doable. The roads are friendly. It's not like the north where it's dirt and gravelly. This is mostly paved roads. So that could be a nice long trip. There are motorcycles that will rent in Danang and then you can drop it off in Ho Chi Minh to make that trip doable. So yes, there's many ways of planning this, but I'm giving you an example so that you can see what I've done so you can get some idea. Okay, my overall impressions of the region has simply been amazing. It's a great area of Vietnam to explore. I've been to the south, Ho Chi Minh, I've been to north, Hanoi and Hai Phong, and I find those places are busier. I find that the people in the central region is friendlier, there's less traffic, so if you're a new rider, it's not as daunting. You can watch my other video where I was riding around Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi. The thing I also love about this is it's full of things to do for all different types of travelers. There's the historic sites that you can check out if you're into history and architecture. There's just the beautiful roads like the Hai Van Pass if you just want to do that. There's the beaches if you're into beach and just sitting by there and chilling. There's the inner city eats. Food is great here. So there's something for everyone in this region, and that's what I love about traveling here. And it's especially nice if you're into motorcycling and also if you want to experience Vietnam in a whole different way on a scooter. It was a really fun adventure, especially when we got caught in the rain that we weren't ready for. All right, we had to get creative. Kirsten had some canvas Converses on. She has some canvas Converse on, so we had to really protect it because we don't want her to get wet. Therefore, we use plastic bags. Yep. Alright, so this is what we look like with ponchos on. As silly as we look, at least we blend in with locals. We'll leave you with a couple music montages so that you get to see what to expect on the road to Hue and on the road to Hoi An. this ghetto poncho gear we got. Okay, so we are getting on our plane, leaving for Vietnam, but the road trip here has been such a wonderful experience. Those of you who haven't experienced Vietnam and are motorcyclists, I highly recommend you should do it with a motorcycle or a scooter, and you'll absolutely love it. All right, hope you liked that video and hope it gives you some insight into what a motorcycle road trip would be like out here in central Vietnam. If you've been here before, then please leave me a comment. Let me know how your experience was, and if you've got good tips, share it in the comments so that our audience can benefit from it. Otherwise, make sure you like and hit that subscribe button and share it with others to help me grow my channel. I will see you in the next video.